that makes a big difference in moving from one category to other. Maybe relatives, maybe employment, but these are some of the things. Also, listen, earlier they were talking about rule of cross-chargeability. Can you please explain to our viewers what is the rule of cross-chargeability?
Well, cross-chargeability means that if an individual is married to a spouse who is not from the same country, that you do not have to use the chargeability date from that particular country. You can use the chargeability date from the country of the spouse. So, for example, if you have an Indian national who's married, let's say, to a Norwegian person, then you would be able to utilize the chargeability date for Norway as opposed to using the chargeability date for India, which, of course, would be rather fast.
Let us take a look at the employment second preference category. An Indian guy, labor certification is approved, I-140 is approved, right? And he has got a priority date of, let us say, 2010. 2010, he's got to wait another 3 years, three and a half years, right?
Significant wait.
So Norwegian is current. So if he realizes that, it has to be here. Oh my God, my wife is a Norwegian and that is current. He immediately informs the immigration
file
service.
an immediate adjustment of status.
Boom, go, finish, get the green card right away.
That's right. Nice little tool.
Nice little.
Often overlooked by many people.
Right. So this is very, very important. There's another question people have, that I got a letter from the National Visa Center to send the forms and pay the fees now. So now I can get a green card because I got a letter from NVC.
Not necessarily. What it means is that you've received a letter and they are prepping your case, but it doesn't mean that the case automatically rolls out.
Very good. So, okay, because that's what they do. National Visa Center will start the paperwork well in advance, 6-8 months in advance. So don't think that the visa number is reached, because to find that information, you have to look at the visa bulletin in that month, and you can always call us, and we'll be happy to advise you what the cutoff date is.
The National Visa Center is a clearinghouse for visas, and what they do is they are almost the staging ground, getting everything ready for the consulate so that the consulate has as little work as possible. So when the paperwork is being done by the National Visa Center is ahead of time to be able to formulate the completed file that's sent over through the various electronic methods to the U.S. consulates abroad.
David, a long time ago, the immigration service will approve the petition and send directly to the American consul. There was no such thing as a National Visa Center. There was something before National Visa Center for a few years. It was a temporary something.
I remember.
Okay, and then well, why that happened? I'll tell you why that happened. Because the American consuls could not keep hundreds of thousands of petitions for many years.
Right.
So they complained, so they said, okay, we're going to create some kind of center here. After the approval, the immigration service will send all the petitions there. They'll store it there. And when the visa number is about to become available, then only they will send to the American consulates for processing. And then another change takes place. They say, well, while they are waiting the files there, why don't they at least do all the paperwork before they send to the consul? That will save the consular officer's time. Right. So this is the way these changes have been. Right now, as we said, the petition is approved, it goes to the National Visa Center, they collect your fees, the DS forms and everything, and even now they are taking all your original documents other than the passport, birth certificate, marriage certificate, police certificate, everything, complete the whole thing and wait. When the visa number is available, then they send that they schedule the interview date also, and they send the whole file then to the American consulate, and then they do the processing there. Once again, we have to take a short break. And right after the break, we'll be back, and David has many more interesting things to tell you. So stay tuned, we'll be back.
आरस्ता केयर वो पहला नर्सिंग केयर और रिहैबिलिटेशन सेंटर जो बुजुर्गों के लिए भारतीय तरीके से बनाया गया है। इंडियन मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल्स जैसे फिजिकल थेरेपिस्ट, डॉक्टर्स, नर्सेज और CNAs 24 घंटे उपलब्ध हैं। यहाँ पे ताज़ा और स्वादिष्ट खाना भी उपलब्ध है। घर जैसा माहौल देने के लिए रोज़ यहाँ आरती और पूजा की जाती है और सारे भारतीय त्यौहार भी मनाए जाते हैं। बाकी इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए कॉल करें मुकुंद ठाकर को 1-800-328-7013।
Band Resort and Spa, luxury soaked in tradition.
Welcome back. Just before the break, we were talking about cutoff dates for the month of August 2011 and many issues related to that. And let's continue. This looks like this whole program we are going to work on the cutoff dates, their importance and all that. So this question that I have now is, what is the importance of cutoff date? I mean, people watch every month, and I believe that it has something to do when a person can get a green card. It has something to do about the CSPA calculation also.
Absolutely.
Because only when the visa number becomes available, then we can do the calculation of CSPA for the children that have crossed 21 years. And the other issues which are related to this. David.
Well, like most lawyers across the country, Michael, I'm sure that you, like we, study these numbers. But probably the most important thing about these numbers is that everyone has access to them. And it's very easy to get the access. In fact, all you have to do is sign on to the U.S. Department of State website, and you can have these numbers sent directly to your desktop, the same as they are to mine, and you can review these numbers. And it's interesting to take a look at the numbers and compare them. Michael was good enough to go through and compare for you last month to this month, which is sometimes very helpful, certainly. And sometimes it's a little deceptive, isn't it? Because we don't really know sometimes why things are going back and forth or why we end up with retrogression in certain circumstances. But it's an important thing to take a look at. A lot of people assume when they come to speak to us that the priority dates are naturally moving forward. But that's not in fact the case. They're not always moving forward.
So the good idea, the tip coming from this is, you are waiting, you have I-140 approved in the employment
For example,
case, number becomes available, file the 485 immediately in the US. Because
Absolutely.
you never know next month, you say, okay, I'll file next month, what is the big deal, let me do it. You become lazy, and then retrogress takes place, you're going to wait another 1 year, maybe more sometimes. So that's important.
Sure,
To watch.
Sure, take a look at a couple of years back when the U.S. Department of State inadvertently accelerated the numbers, and there was a massive deluge of cases to the U.S. Department of State where, and what of course is the benefit by filing? Well, you get a travel document in some cases and you get a work authorization card. And that
you can travel in some cases, unless you are barred due to the unlawful presence, you can also travel.
Correct, and now they're issuing cards which have the work and travel on the
Combined,
same card, so that's new. That's something that's fairly new, but at least you get those benefits, and those benefits can continue to be renewed until you get your green card. So
another important thing is that the CSPA, Child Status Protection Act calculation, as we said earlier, is based upon when the visa number becomes available. Now you are waiting the line, you have heard on this program that now these days, even if the child crosses 21, that he can continue. But it's not as simple as that. There's a formula, there's some calculation that can be done. When the visa number became available, what was the age of the child at that time? And then you minus the period that the Immigration Service took into approving the petition, so forth and so on. There's an additional requirement people miss. In addition to that, there's also a requirement that you must file the form DS-230 and pay your fees within 1 year from the visa number becoming available. So that means that's important. Once the visa number becomes available, make sure that the child's application is filed in time, otherwise you lose the CSP benefit.
in other words, what you're saying, Michael, is that you must claim within 1 year.
Exactly.
And that issue of claiming within 1 year is very hotly contested right now in litigation, because the determination of what is considered to be that claim is still sort of up in the air and part of a gray area.
Correct.
Yeah.
So about the what else about the cutoff dates besides this? Basically, visa processing situations also, you have to be fully prepared. I mean, I just have recently come across some cases where some of the lawyers who filed the papers and the petitions were approved and the people were called for interview, they were not prepared. They're not, once you have visa number available, you know the interview is coming soon.
That's
so you
right.
contact your lawyer, you tell them to go over with you, prepare you, and I had 2 or 3 cases where the person went in, very interesting today I told you. They were not prepared for the interview, they gave some wrong answers. So not only the counsel denied it, but is now looking at maybe you have a fraud charge against the citizen who filed, how he came illegally and all that.
Right.
So this is very, very important that people should watch and take certain steps in various directions that are required to protect your own interest, to protect the CSPA status of the child and all that. Also, if you're in the US, then you have to file the adjustment of status application. And I keep on saying that as you are watching the movement of the visa numbers, you are also supposed to be getting prepared for that. You need like police certificates in India, for example.
Exactly.
So
which
you know
takes
the visa,
time. Which
yeah,
takes time.
takes time.
Yeah.
And the case gets delayed because you didn't obtain it earlier. You know the visa numbers become available in a month or two. Start working. Make sure your passport is valid, renewed properly. Make sure you have the right birth certificate. Make sure you have the right marriage certificate, right?
Exactly.
And
All
make
your
sure all the forms are completed. Prepare your case. Prepare your case.
Yeah, actually, and also make sure that they're appropriately translated, because the U.S. consulate is always going to be looking for these documents to be translated. But I think Michael is hitting the nail right on the head, and that is, it's all about preparation, not to leave things for the last minute. And we as lawyers, that's what our business is all about, is making sure that our clients are adequately prepared to answer the questions that they're going to be confronted with, so that there are no surprises. And that's why we spend a great deal of time, Michael's office, our office, spend a great deal of time coaching our clients on what to expect. It's all about expectations and preparation, right, Michael?
Absolutely. And this again leads to another point that many people complain. I mean, we do what you told us. There are lawyers who will just file a petition and then tell the client, now you are on your own. That's it, approval, go and apply the visa in consulate. What do you mean apply the visa in consulate? You got to go over all the papers, you got to prepare the client thoroughly to see that all the documents are in order. And the affidavit of support 864, for example, even if that has been sent to the National Visa Center, when your relative, brother, friend, or whoever, brother or wife or husband who's going for visa processing, and if it is delayed, that 864 was filed long time ago, they want that to be updated. The person has to take the new latest tax return and see what other documentation. He has to have a proper medical exam done. All those issues, that I always say that you go after your lawyer, tell them to prepare you rather than just going in cold and then getting into a problem. I think we are running out of time. And David, thank you very, very much. And I know that you will continue to come on this program on a regular basis, hopefully. And we'll try to bring more and more government officials and other people for interview on this program. We thank you very much for watching the program. Please make sure every Saturday at 1 p.m. we'll be back. Thank you very much.
When writing your questions to us, please let us know the city and state and how you're watching TV Asia. Dish, satellite or cable. If cable...
Hey, both. किया
System is based upon a chain.
The economic growth of this country
Hello viewers, welcome to our program